The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times.
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the aventuras were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The way the two of you argued, it didn't feel like enemies. It felt like family.
How so?
Family knows you better than anyone, and that can be good or bad.
I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again.
All right. I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the aventuras, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
I suspect them calling Elganon and Gillenane and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And the Fade is the realm of dreams. Hard to present that as evidence.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganon, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganon's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I appreciate you saying that. Couldn't have been easy.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, but being afraid to change. Elganon's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. You work together with a camaraderie it took me centuries to build in my rebellion.
So what do we do next?
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes. For this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Elganon's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgernon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens, and it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Okay. We always knew this was going to be hard, right? And yeah, maybe it's a little harder now. More than a little. But either we stop this, or all of Thedas falls. So we see it through. All the way. Because no one else is going to.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before,
Not without help, we didn't.
so we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
I can think of a few options, but I'm open to suggestions.
Wardens have run dry. Nothing new is moving in the deep roads.
And the Veil Jumpers couldn't find any trace of Elgranon or his archdemon.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And several storehouses worth of food, what little we had left. It's enough to feed the Antam Navy for 3 months. Or all of Treviso for 6 weeks.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
We've got options for what we do next. Figuring out where the Antam are taking those supplies should put us on the gods' trail. That said, the Venatori aren't up to anything good in Minrathous.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything she's been doing in the south, we owe her an update.
I'll let her know.
Today could have gone better, but it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up. And be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
Thanks for the tip-off. Got people clear before trouble.
You spend far too much time here, Dorian.
This is where all my favorite people are. And besides, I have news. And every messenger bird I've met is dreadful at nuance.
Magister Parvus, it's good to see you again.
At least someone appreciates my presence.
You're our eyes in the Magisterium. If someone spots you here...
Yes, I know. Can't be spotted with the shadow dragons. You worry too much, May.
Well, what do you have for us?
The cult lost people in Arlethan, and leadership has fallen to Knight Commander Lenos. He aims to bring the city to its knees.
But Minrathous is already falling apart.
I know. While the Varantis' attack on the city could have been much worse, the people's fear in the aftermath is palpable.
And the rumors about the Archon are true. He's dead. Assassinated during the Dragon's rampage. The palace has tried to keep the news from spreading until a new Archon steps up.
And no one has?
No one dares. Not with the Venatori circling like vultures. The risen gods are preparing for something big. And for that, they need fear. Chaos.
Preparing for something big? I don't like the sound of that. We barely got out of Weishaupt alive, and we needed Solus's help in Arlethan.
And that's why we need to know what the Venatori are preparing for. Lenos is the key to all of it. First, we stop what he's planning for Minrathous.
And then we find out what the gods are preparing for.
Let's hope it stays that simple. One of Lenos' Venatori associates is often at the Cobbled Swan. Let's see what we can get from him.
We? Dorian, you can't be going yourself.
It's the Swan. Everyone goes to the Swan.
I'll head out right now. We really need to figure out the God's big plan. Dorian thinks Knight Commander Lenos is part of it. So let's track him down first.
Come back soon. We'll have more.
You and Syrian were close before.
He was the one person I could always count on, who always had my back.
You thought he was dead, and then he turned up alive and a monster. I wonder if Katerina... What were we talking about? I wonder if Katerina feels the same. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Your brother isn't a real monster.
Didn't...
It's really great what the Shadow Dragons are doing for the city. Still too many people here, though. For me, at least.
We probably shouldn't keep Dorian waiting too long. There's Dorian.
There's Lenos' associate. According to the shadows watching him, he's nervous and doesn't talk much, but does odd jobs for coin. Interesting, yes? I'll draw him off, you check his belongings, see if you can discover any clues about Lenos' plan.
Mostly gone. Warm. I don't even know what this is. Ale? Looks like he's been nursing it a while. A bedroll. It's definitely seen better days. And it's damp. Sleeping out in the rain.
What are you poking about there for? Hey, I didn't see you rifling through customers' belongings, did I?
This customer might be associated with Venatori. Be careful.
Or he's not like any Ivan cat. He comes in when we open it.
Lenos intends to destroy the city with Blight and Darkspawn.
Cuffs. Nothing like an attack to cause chaos in a city. You should head there immediately.
All right, let's go.
We have company.
Behind you.
Nice work.
Something tore through these gates. Something big. Watch out! I bet this darkspawn was what tore through the gates.
Nice done, Rook. Trouble coming.
Death is
light's in the way. That did it. We can get through now.
Even more. How are there so many?
Everything's crumbling down here. Might be tricky to get out.
At least reality's not squishy, so better than Arlethan. That helped a little, but I'm guessing there's another one.
Find the blight boils. We need to clear the way and keep pushing. We got it. Way should be clear.
Dragons? How did you find this place? Venatori, to me! Do you think you've won? Do you think you can stop the Venatori? Or the risen gods?
We're certainly gonna try.
The Shadow Dragons have brought nothing but chaos to the city. Bring these dissidents to justice. That's an order.
Get out of there!
Templar in there with us. Let's look around, see what we find.
Clear. In Treviso, we have a tale of a masked man who lived in the bowels of the city.
But why?
Drama. Why else?
Risen God's ritual. That's what the gods in the Venatori are preparing for. Lenos's documents. They detail the Venatori's long-term plans and what they want to do to Tevinter. These star charts predict an eclipse to make magic stronger.
Ritual magic, empowered by an eclipse.
All this, the ritual, the eclipse, and the Venatori plans. We have to bring this to the Shadow Dragons immediately.
We should tell the Shadow Dragons what we found.
Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars. It's about as Tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means?
This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You? On the throne? Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
Changing Tevinter, helping people. If we can get something good out of all this, I'm for it.
You've given us an opening, Rook, and believe me, we shall seize upon it.
But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of Tevinter that we're here for them.
We're shadow dragons. It's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, you have been instrumental in all this. Which strategy do you prefer?
What sort of change are you trying to achieve?
For a start, slavery. Abhorrent. It needs to go no more.
And Tevinter has been ruled by the Altus Mages for all of its history. That must change. The Zoparati, non-mages, deserve a say in their own governance.
And all that's just the beginning of what will undoubtedly be a long journey.
Shouldn't you be on the same side?
We are on the same side. We both know what Tevinter needs. How best to get it, that's the question.
If we went with Dorian's plan, I'd support it fully. But we won't, because he'll come around and realize that I'm right.
And I'd absolutely back you up on that, if you were right, which you aren't.
We'll see.
Will we?
Dorian, are you really suggesting violent revolution?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a mere threat of violence is sufficient.
He learned that from his friends in the South. I hear Ferelden settled a succession crisis with a duel.
It worked. Astoundingly.
We're not Ferelden.
I'm merely saying we need to consider bold and creative methods of achieving our ends. The game is rigged. Why play by rules crooked magisters already exploit? Clear the board and start over. If they're gone, we can fill the magisterium with those who respect the office. Then we'll actually see progress.
Nevaris, you really believe making this evidence public will work?
Dorian wants to work behind the scenes, but once again, it's the magisters and highbloods pulling the Imperium's strings. That doesn't inspire. It's a tactic used by our enemies. We need to show Tevinter that we can be different.
Unless they find some way to bury it? Or leverage their wealth, power, and status as they often have before?
Politics is a long game. If we use force against our enemies, our allies will remember it.
You want me to choose who will be Archon? But I'm not even from here. I can't decide.
Then talk to the ones who are. See what they say. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right, I'll go do that.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
The city will be better off with them gone.
We can hope.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not going to mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down. And delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Maevaris still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
I just don't know enough about Tevinter to know what's best for its people.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Maevaris too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Maevaris returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
What do you think might happen, depending on who leads?
With May, she gets power back again. Gets one more shot at changing Tevinter from the top down. Worst that could happen is nothing. But that's what you risk when all you rely on is hope. But with Dorian...
We could get chaos, strife. Things might get harder before they get easier. If they get easier.
I'll take my chances.
And whoever leads will have the Shadow Dragon's support, right?
Count on it.
We'll keep fighting. For Dorian. Or for Maevaris.
What else is there to do in this town, anyway? It rains all the damn time.
So, what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. Would have liked to see his face when he lost, but having him gone is good enough.
I meant about Maevaris and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
You know me. I'm trouble. But more than that, it's your city. Your Tevinter. And I care about what you think.
Sweet talker. Maevaris Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. But if you're asking me, I'd go with Maevaris. She'll inspire people, show them that the Magisterium can be better than it is. Right now, after the gods and everything else, that's what this city needs. What we all need.
Thanks, Nev. That helps.
That's what I'm here for.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Maevaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
What happens after it's decided who'll lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
Maevaris should lead.
I will not squander the opportunity. That is my promise to you all.
And May will have my full support, of course. For when enemies get in our way.
They will. It is Tevinter, after all.
The risen gods are still causing chaos. The people will need your voice to keep them fighting.
Oh, they will fight. This city has strength enough to stand against any so-called gods. We will win the day, and after that, we will win a brighter Tevinter for all of us.
I'll be careful.
Check the back for me.
Right away.
Heard about that damned Knight Commander. Good riddance. Till next time.
Let's work on precision.
Is Martin staying here?
Got something in mind? All right then.
Hey, Antoine. Evka.
I can still hear it. Though it is giving me a headache.
Please be careful.
With the container? It's very sturdy. I tested it.
What? When? And how?
Am I interrupting?
No. Our study of the new blight continues.
We know the gods changed the blight. We think it changed more than they realized, or altered itself after.
It's answering to something other than gods.
Okay. That's not good news, but you're making progress with your studies.
Yes. Well, there's more to learn, but yes.
So what's the blight answering to?
Remember the strange call I heard after the Lavendale battle? It was here, in the wetlands.
We think the source is out a ways, towards the redoubt.
I can tell it's something large, rooted. A construct of the blight itself. An eruption controlling the rest. What that could mean. Everything that calls the blight impacts the wardens. We withstand it. But gods, archdemons, It all adds strain.
If the eruption calls the blight, then it could mess with us too. Spark the calling sooner. We'll lose ourselves, along with the wetlands.
Should you have told me about all this? About the calling?
First Warden would have said no.
You're our friend. You chase archdemons and fight the blight. It seems fair you know what this means.
Antoine, you hear stuff in the Blight more than some of the others. Are you?
Yes. A little sensitive, but it's not calling to me. Not yet. Like everyone else, I'll know when that changes.
So how do I help?
Figured you'd be in. Remember those samples you found when we first arrived? Based on our studies, Antoine made an alchemical flame. It's impressive. It should destroy the eruption.
Theoretically. At least the last batch was stable. Mostly.
But if the eruption's controlling the blight and it gets attacked, then the blight around Lavendel might respond.
Yes, its roots are everywhere and spreading. I can feel them.
These people can't lose their Blight experts. I can go after the eruption.
While we guard against nasty side effects here.
Stay safe. Or as safe as you can.
I've no fear when Evka's at my back.
You've always got me.
The blight poisons so much. Water, plants, animals, people. Some would call the wetlands dead already. But they're not. It's not too late. Whatever the eruption means for the waters, we can leave this place better. It's what we're supposed to do.
We'll take our stand in the sheltered glade. Meet us there when you're done.
Eyes up.
I don't have a good feeling about this place.
Me neither, but we need to keep going.
A barrier! Bet the eruption's on the other side. We need to cut off the tendrils to break through.
Still a bunch of dark spots. Got it. Watch yourself! Catch them!
Better move before more darkspawn show up.
Up there! That ledge! We can destroy the tendrils from there.
A ballista.
Could be useful.
We're through.
Okay, good. Let's see what's ahead.
What is that the Blight eruption?
That's messed up.
The Darkspawn are protecting it. We need to take them out. Let's go.
Trouble coming. Not done yet. There's a lift for you.
Keep going. This is it. Let's get that eruption. All right. We strike and the whole thing goes up. All right. Time to destroy this thing.
They aren't blighted. Were they dormant?
Maybe. They're beautiful. Much like you. Ah, Orc. Hi.
We knew when you hit that eruption. The blight around Lavendel reacted. And there was a sound in it. Like nothing we've heard before.
What happened in there? What was it like?
Now there's a story to get people's attention. I'll tell it at every campfire.
A little bragging is good for you, right?
I want stories about your fight, Lisa.
When the eruption was destroyed, some of the bigger tendrils pulled back. The remaining blight won't vanish overnight, but it's a good sign. And this place opened up.
The flowers here, they managed to survive, buried, untouched. They have a chance to return now.
That's incredible. I wasn't expecting flowers.
It's what we're here to do, to make this possible again.
We thought the Grey Warden's purpose would end when the last archdemons died.
And that time's almost here. It's unbelievable.
The Order is those of us left now. When the archdemons fall, some wardens will hang up their swords. Until they're calling, at least.
So the Wardens are finished?
No, our numbers may get smaller, but Evka and I will be here. Others will stay too.
There's still blight in the world. There's something new calling to it. And to us.
There's blight inside us too. If it changed out there, have we changed as well?
What matters is that if new evils show up, we'll be here to keep them back.
Are you doing okay with all this? Really?
Don't worry, I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Me too.
Do you really think something inside you has changed?
It's possible. Or maybe we're the same. But does that mean we'll be the same? You can't sense the blight. But trust us, it feels different. And the sound is changing too.
As for what it means, it's like Antoine said. We don't know yet.
I'm sure you'll be fine, but if there's anything I can do, just say.
Of course. It's good we answered your first letter. And it didn't catch fire.
What?
It may have come close to an explosive, but we all met in the end.
The blight feels relentless most of the time. We see what it does up close.
The world dying, how it spreads. But we keep going.
And look, these flowers can make it back.
They really can. And they're beautiful.
I think so.
Lavendel was named for flowers. They must have been everywhere before. When we get back.
We can stay here a bit longer first.
Oh, yes. I thought I heard birds earlier. Maybe we can find them?
The wetlands aren't fully healed.
But the flowers came back. Hey, you little guys. demon. Watch yourself.
Careful ahead.
Hey. Hey. We had a thing. Hey, Lara. You okay? You look sad.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about my brother.
Yeah. Sometimes I see stuff that reminds me of my mother.
What do you do? When it hits you, I mean.
You're a spirit. What are you doing here?
Light glimmers the surface. Flowers break through snow. Hope unexpected. I am such.
Is despair gone?
No, but nor was I forever. So small, I think.
You look settled. You like it here?
The Blight's retreating. The Warden's won.
Take a look. All set?
Come on over to get ripped and equipped. Oh, then some helmets.
Thanks for the tip-off. Got people clear.
Give me a hand.
You've done a lot for the city. Let's see if I can return the favor. Come back anytime.